Here we go. All right. Well, good morning,
Hi,
everyone.
Shorts. Good morning.
Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Alan Richardson. I'm the managing broker. This is my lovely bride.
My name is Ming Richardson. I'm the compliance broker for Maximum One.
And we really appreciate you joining us today. And so this is Monday, June 8th. We're going to be going over kind of everything's going on in the world of real estate, and kind of, we like the whole thing about the real estate backstory, kind of exposing the soft underbelly of the real estate world. And so, this is everything that we learn that kind of come up every week. I scour the news, and then we try and have interesting information tidbits. So we're just kind of jump in here. And so we're going to kind of start off with this past week we had a broker meeting at GREC, and so GREC had a broker meeting for all the brokers, and there were some key points that came up, and I kind of just wanted to share some of those really fast with y'all. So first one was that they are still open, but not in. But I mean, like as of I don't want to say Thursday last week was the first day they were fully in place and actually operating 100% kind of thing. And so they're just now really getting back into the swing of things. They are handling about 1,400 complaints a year, and right now their top complaint used to be earnest money was number one.
And still hard to some extent.
Well, it's number two now. The number one is social media advertising. Social media advertising and advertising violations is the number one complaint, followed by earnest money. Now, earnest money continues to be the number one fined violation issue. GREC don't play when it comes to other people's money, and so we got to be really careful about that. If someone does want to issue a complaint, it does require a sworn statement still to submit it, kind of thing. Some of the other issues that we talked about, one was the coming soon rule. How the coming soon rule on one hand that coming soon rule really came from NAR, and now it started to create some issues down the line. And now what we're really seeing is that GREC really doesn't have a horse in that race. But what we're seeing is that the MLSs, like the Columbus MLS, just issued a violation of the fine for violating the coming soon rule in the Columbus MLS is $5,000. And so there's really a big expectation to see much more higher fines from the MLSs as they try and take advantage of that. Also, one of the big points that we talked about, and one of the things that came up, was the team rule. And the team rule is one of those that has been pretty near and dear to everyone's heart, kind of thing. Because originally, they put out this team rule that said, the team rule was going to define the team leader and then advertising as a team. Sorry, every time she does that, throws me completely off. But really the big thing was in the team name, and in there, probably the biggest ones that kind of caught everyone off guard were the words real estate, realty, company, corporation, that kind of stuff in their team names, and what was going and the requirement for a lot of our teams, and how expensive it was going to be to change all the marketing and the whole 9 yards. And so as it stands right now, GREC has still basically decided not to decide. So they know that things are kind of up in the air, and so they keep postponing it, and so they have not made a ruling. And so, where most of the brokers, myself, went in was can we grandfather in the teams that are already there? Right. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't get a warm fuzzy feeling from the heads at GREC, and I'm just trying to be straight up about it. I hope that that's what they do, but again, this one is still kind of up in the air. But I know that a lot of the brokers are really fighting for this, because we know that this affects our teams, and that's a really big deal to us. And so how GREC is going to rule, again, I can't say it's, I don't have I'm not the decision maker in this, but if you are looking at creating a new team, don't put any of these terms in your new team name is kind of the first thing right now. Where this all works out in the wash, I'd say we've got 4 to 6 months before they actually truly make a call on this, and then there'll be some kind of a transition period. Where that is and how that falls, I couldn't tell you at the moment, but I'm not strongly optimistic at this moment.
Well, I just want to really quick, you can incorporate your company as LLC, LLP, Inc., whatever it is. But as far as advertising goes, you can, if you're starting a new team, I would not put any of the wording that Alan has up on the board right now, just so you're not incurring expenses down the road.
Yeah, basically those 14 terms are really what GREC is kind of looking at. Also, if you haven't logged into GREC since December of last year, you need to log in and create a new account. You'll be able to see your records, all your GREC classes, CE credits, the whole 9 yards. Just go to grec.state.ga.us, and then mouse over the whole licensed professional area. Click on online service login, click register, and put all your credentials in, that kind of stuff. And because they've updated the website, so as agents, we need to log in and keep our stuff straight, kind of thing.
Yep.
All right, this week on training. So on Wednesday, we have FHA Financing 101, and that's going to be on, you can catch that on Zoom. And on Friday, Ming is teaching on Friday. And so why don't you tell us about your class?
I'm teaching a guard contract and writing negotiation. I know a lot of y'all get a lot of lovely notes from me, and I promise you, I'm not trying to make any more work than is necessary. But at the same time, I do want to protect you and your client's best interest. Because sometimes the way it's written, it doesn't make sense, or it doesn't tell you what the sequence of events are. It's like telling us, when you write a special step or anything like that, it's like telling you a story. That story's got to have beginning, the middle, and the end, and also consequences and who's responsible. So I will be teaching a guard contract on June 12th, so please join me.
All right, we need to jump in and talk a little bit about lead-based paint. It's a pretty big deal about what's going on right now.
Huge.
And there's some new federal laws that don't necessarily comply, or maybe comply is the wrong word, that don't care about how our state laws are. And the federal laws are going to kind of supersede that.
So. Yeah, and in this, we will also share a link by Seth Wiseman. Just want you to know that he came out with a video kind of explain it. So I'm just going to give you a brief overview. As a listing agent, if the house was built prior to 1978, you got to have the lead-based disclosure along with the pamphlet. That has to be signed by your seller before, when you take on the listing.
The disclosure form has to be signed by the seller. Right.
So, and also the pamphlet. So agents, okay, from a listing perspective, those two items is a must. There's no if, buts, or about. This is a federal law. This is not state, okay? This is the federal. Federal trumps everything. And so this is how you can protect yourself by ensure that you got lead-based paint. And I can't stress enough to you guys. And on the section, if you look at it mid-year, they did a May 22nd, they did a lead-based change on it. Instead of putting property address on it, they just made it very generic, okay? They didn't specify the property address at all. So on the questionnaire, 2.A and B belongs to the seller, and those questions has to be answered, all right? So that's from a listing agent perspective. From a buyer perspective, buyer, when you have a buyer brokerage agreement, whether or not you did it before contract written or anything like that, you got to give them that brochure. It is now our company policy. I like to implement it. I don't care if the house is built prior to 1978 or not. Just to be on the safe side, please always include lead-based paint as a check mark on your buyer brokerage agreement, and ensure that your buyer gets a copy of it.
See, we want you to understand that right now the EPA has investigators out, and they're knocking on brokers' doors. They're spot checking properties. The minimum fine, the smallest fine, is $11,000, up to $16,000 per occurrence. So you get $16,000 occurrences. You're almost at $70,000. In fines, and they don't play. It's not like you negotiate this away. And so we want to make sure that we're protecting you as well as us. And so this is a really, really big deal. The other big challenge here is when it has to be signed.
So from a listing perspective, believe it or not, that actually has to be signed prior to the binding agreement date. So what that means is that when a buyer present an offer, you got to ensure that lead base is in there, okay, before
Binding.
before binding. This includes the lead base paint and the pamphlet. And just so you know, on the form itself, under section 3A, A and B and C, all right, I know that a lot of you have questioned me about it, and I just want to express this. GREC form committee made a mistake by saying initial one only. If you look at the sentence on 3.A, it states that buyer has or has not received information from the seller. So what that means is that number 2AB is the questionnaire for the answer on CA. Okay. 9 out of 10, there's always seller has no acknowledgement of lead-based paint. So the buyer does need to initial that. And on 3.B, it says the buyer has received a lead-based pamphlet and understands it. So you make sure that is required. If you look at the form itself, on the very top, it actually had a bold in writing about the lead-based paint pamphlet. So buyer's agent, make sure you do that. And number C, it allows the buyer to have either a 10-day inspection period or waive the rights. And just remember, you always have to have the broker initial underneath on the next section, and signature and date on all the signatures.
We're going to talk a little bit more about it next week as well. We're going to actually pull the forms out and go through the details of the actual lead-based paint forms, but where we wanted to go this week, because that, I think Ming's information is so spot on and important, but we need to show you those forms. It makes really confusing without having those forms out here to show. And so, but for us, one of the big issues is that it has to, lead-based paint is not a due diligence item. Up in the past, lead-based paint has kind of been one of those things that we dealt with during due diligence, and that's not the case anymore. So if you are a listing agent, you have a property that's built before 1978, before you can go binding, you have to get that lead-based paint signed by the buyer, or else it doesn't count. Okay, and so you could be open to, you could be open out to a $11,000 to $16,000 fine, and we don't want to have that. I know that right now this is an education point that we're trying to press kind of across the board, because everyone needs to be knowledgeable about this and what's going on. So we're going to keep talking about this. We're going to be educating folks more and more about this. It's something that's a really, really big deal, because right now the forms are all jacked up. People are using them, and nothing's being checked right, the whole 9 yards. So understand that we are going to keep educating on this item.
And just remember, GAR forms, if you are in 2020, do not use any form that's predated prior to 2020. That is a copyright violation, y'all. Okay?
All right. So
enough of the base paint.
Yeah. So we came across some a good social media content ideas. And so if you'll go to nationaldaycalendar.com, you're going to be able to find all kinds of really neat ideas that you can share out. Plus, they all have a different, they've already got a social media image that you can present, and they look really good. If you look at, so like this is for the folks coming up for the next month, or roughly next month kind of thing. So like June 10th, I'm pretty sure we're going to celebrate National Egg Roll Day, because it's not an Asian thing. Oh yeah, no. I like egg rolls. That's all. I like all things Chinese, honey.
So I'm sorry, y'all.
As opposed to National Pop Goes the Weasel Day, and then of course we have the Flag Day, those kind of things also. But it's great to kind of see those. But a lot of times we're always looking for content and that kind of stuff.
I love the one on June 15, National Smile Power Day. There we go.
Okay, yeah, we can smile before then, but yeah. All right, so we have invited John Z to be with us today, and he is with America's Preferred. He is, so John, are you with us here? I'm going to unmute you here. I'm going to ask you to unmute, kind of thing. We can't hear you just yet.
You got to click on the button.
There we go. I'm here.
All right, John. Well, thank you very much for joining us. We kind of wanted to one thing that's really important to us is that we're always educating folks, but also that this is still a relationship business, and knowing who you're dealing with is really important. Some agent and me, you and I love and respect you, but I'm also like I love and hate the home warranty kind of thing. I'm just being straight up, right?
Nice.
Well, but I mean, I'm going to shoot. I mean, it's not. They aren't the end all be all. It's not the end of the. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's also the best thing I can do for my clients, kind of thing. And so, John, you've been doing home warranties, I don't know, since you were 12, I believe. Is that right?
Something like that. About 6 years ago when I opened up Georgia for them.
All right, good. Well, tell us a little bit about home warranties, why we should have them, and how they help protect our clients.
All right. Well, you never know what you're getting into when you're either listing a home or, working with buyers to actually buy a home. And you want to be sure you never get the call that starts out with, hey, you never told, or the air conditioner's out, it's your fault type of thing. It seems like the agents get blamed for everything. So there's the way.
That's our world right there. Yeah, it doesn't really matter who messed up. It's our fault.
Everything. So when, rather than get blamed, it would be a good idea to help offset some of those costs. And we know that in the real estate business, your long-term referral building is key. So, if you make too many people mad that don't want to continue to do business with you, your business may decline versus building kind of a money-making machine with people that are satisfied. And if you think about it, the warranty is the only thing that really survives the closing, other than your contacts with the customer. So it's a good thing to protect your reputation. That when you're listing a home, it's good to put a warranty on. I mean, after all, part of it's free if you want to cover appliances, HVAC, and stuff. Up to $1,000, it's just $75. So, in your listing presentation, you can talk to the seller and say, hey, we can protect your home right when I walk out the door. You're covered. And part of the coverage is we've never really talked that much about the legal protection that your sellers will get. Your sellers get 2 years legal protection, $1,000 worth of coverage. That if the buyer ever goes back to try and sue them, that they get that legal coverage for free. So you don't even have to have the seller preferred upgrade. But
so John,
it's a good idea.
Really quick, as the season's getting hot, and in the past with HVAC, the older units, it's always the AC, sometimes the appliance, but rarely during the listing period. So I have quite a few listing agents here that's currently watching. If you're not offering the home warranty at this time, you might want to consider it. It is free to your seller. Now, what's a caveat on that, John?
I missed a little bit of what you said right at the end.
So if you're a listing agent, if you get home warranty, it is free to seller. And like John says, cover up to $1,000 for HVAC. So even though that doesn't sing a whole lot, but when you're in a tight negotiation, or does seller come out of pocket $4,500 versus $3,500, I think $3,500 is more appealing than $4,500.
Well, the other thing for me, especially with home warranties, is that I like to offer them. The majority of our listings end up needing a home warranty anyway. And so if you market your listing as being a home warranty, it shows that you kind of stand behind your product. You're going to have to buy it anyway in almost every case. And so when you put it out there ahead of time, you're actually getting value out of marketing the home warranty as opposed to just having to do it anyway.
So, exactly. That's an excellent point. What GAR says is that your home sells for about $2,300 more and 11 days quicker when you provide the home warranty, because it gives that peace of mind. And the key element of our warranty is that the homeowners can choose their own contractor, which is nice because then they don't, the contractor works for the homeowner and not the warranty company. And, you know, it works out much better where 90% of the people out there want to be able to choose their own customer. If they don't know who to choose and they can't get information from, you know, the realtor, we can help with who's worked with us in the past. But, you know, there's so many tools out there online that people can research and see some good contractors. And most good contractors don't work with home warranty companies because they reduce how much they cut their margins and they take 2 months to get paid. So with us, paying them their full amount and also paying them right over the phone with the company credit card, they're very willing to work with us, the best ones.
So when you, as a listing agent, when I'm getting ready to do a listing, I get a protection for my seller, and you said that is free. And so when we get ready to sell the property, the seller basically need to buy a home warranty for the buyer, correct?
Right. Yeah, they intend to buy the warranty, but you know, if something, the negotiation gets nasty and you know the seller withdraws, you know, paying for the warranty, that happens from time to time. But you know, to run a business, we can't have that happen every time. You know,
I understand. Understand.
So the thing of it is, it's like the intent is to provide a warranty, and most sellers will provide the $425 warranty for $100. The buyers always have 30 days to upgrade if they want. But sellers, so for a total of the $425 plus the $75, which is the seller preferred upgrade, it covers them through that listing period. And what's neat about it is, if something comes up during the due diligence, come to the inspections, it's one of the things that are covered in our seller preferred or our free or seller preferred. That's something that we'll address, and the buyer's agent is going to ask the seller's agent to, you know, or ask the sellers to fix it anyway. So might as well, you know, have a warranty that will help offset some of the costs. It may cover everything, but you know, it in many cases it'll help offset costs.
Okay, that's
Awesome.
fair enough. I mean, it's all about relationship in our business. So we thank you so much for coming online this morning and tell us about your warranty. So with John's company, your client gets to choose who the repair guy is, and for $75, your seller can be protected up to $1,000 in HVAC and expenditures. And of course, you will buy the buyer the home warranty at closing. So either or, I mean, for me, if I was a buyer's agent, if their home warranties included, that tells me that the seller has done really good job in maintaining the property and is conscientious about their product. So for me, it's a win-win situation on that.
Yep, exactly. And then I also like that you can reach out. You know, some of the home warranty companies are really hard to get a hold of. This one, you call John Z, and you have to go with John Z because I can't pronounce his last name worth a flip. So, but John picks up the phone, he answers your questions, and he'll take care of you. So.
Yeah, and the one other thing too is that agents can put a few dollars in their pocket by giving us the brand names of the appliances or upload the inspection. If they do that, we send you guys a check, and you give them a check for $75. So it's an easy $75, and you know
it's a nice dinner out.
So you get extra. So you guys offer a $75 rebate. Win.
Well, we don't call it rebate; we call it services.
The compensable service fee. Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So that's a good thing that we have, and you know, in terms of you can also help increase your, you know, build your reputation through this. And, you know, I'll be there to support if there's ever any issues. If something's black and white, I can't really help. If something's gray, I can help you guys out and help make your customers happy. So, you know, don't hesitate to call me. And I appreciate being partners with you guys. And, you know, again, I try to be responsive as possible. And the idea with getting you more business and more customers.
Thank you, John.
Awesome.
We appreciate you.
John, we sure appreciate you. Thank you very much. All right. Well, we're gonna move on here, and we're gonna kind of get into some of the news going on about what's going on in our industry and in the retail world, that kind of thing. So, you know, breaking news. So first of all, mortgage rates last week shot up. Well, when I say shot up, they went up a little bit. Okay, they're still they're amazingly low, but we did see an uptick last week in mortgage rates. But that being said, we also saw mortgage applications jump 18% last week. So we're going on, I think, 6 weeks now straight of an increase in mortgage applications, and so we continue to move up. And as a matter of fact, you can see year over year change in mortgage applications for single family homes continue to move up. And so we are right now, compared to the same period last year, we're like 18% up over last year. Okay. Over last year. That is a really, really big deal for us. And it really shows what's going on. The summer buying season is here, and it is really, really hot kind of thing. At the same time, we had another little bit of good news, even though it's not that great. Let me back up. May saw the biggest job increase of 2.5 million jobs as the economy is starting to recover kind of thing. And so no one expected that we were going to see this kind of increase in jobs last week. Overall, unemployment is still terrible, still awful. There's just no doubt about it. That being said, it continues to improve, and it's improving at a faster pace than all the talking heads at Wall Street really thought it was going to, kind of thing. They were looking at a decline of 8.3 million, and we came up with an increase of 2.5 million, kind of thing. And so while I'm not trying to say, hey, everything's back to perfect, everything's running. That's not true. That being said, we are seeing that coming out of Corona, especially on the jobs front, it's moving faster than what everyone thought. Leisure and hospitality continue to represent, right around half of all the jobs lost are in restaurants and hospitality,
hotels, right.
That kind of stuff. And so as those things continue to increase, we'll see another big jump in that. Last week, for the first time, our mortgage bailout numbers shrank. Okay, because in the past, of course, when all through April it was really, really high, but last week was the first time that number went down. More people dropped out of mortgage bailout than joined or than looked for assistance, and that also is another really great number for us to kind of see. We pulled up some numbers and we found that the recovery from the coronavirus definitely looks very V-shaped. And when you start looking at these charts, you can see that job losses and gains, well, you can see where that massive job loss was. We hit that 20.7 million. And this past week, we shot back up to 2.5 million. So that's a really strong thing. When you also look at NASDAQ hit a record high, down here, Apple Maps, they keep up with who's looking for directions. And you can see that we're driving more because people are out there looking for directions, kind of thing. S&P 500 is moving up. Back in the real estate, the jobless rate continues, even though it is remarkably high. Okay, there's just no doubt it's not great. It is moving in the right direction. Our mortgage companies are on a hiring spree. Okay. Quicken Loan is trying to hire 3,000 LOs. United Wholesale Mortgage, 2,600. Low Depot, another 3,000. And I'm not even sure who Better.com is. There must be another big lender not in our area. But they're looking for almost 4,000 LOs. So we continue to see that things are, and especially in the mortgage industry, are really on fire right now.
And so just really caution to you, try to work with the lenders that you have a relationship with, because with all these folks hiring new lenders, you know how that goes. As I told you guys before, your lender can make you or break you.
That is such a huge fact. It's not even funny. So we got to be really, really selective about who we're referring out, and the people that are taking care of us, those are the ones that we're going to take care of in return, kind of thing. But be looking at more and more people coming into the mortgage industry just because the way the rates are, the mortgage guys are just blown away right now.
They are. And
the good ones, you got to hang on those good ones, kind of thing. So this past week, OfferPad, the biggest iBuyer out there, changed their model. And so there's two ways to look at this. One thing is that they are now pursuing listings Dun, dun, dun.
Yep.
And so, for us, that was, having iBuying, in our market, it is, I see it honestly leveling out somewhere around where for sale by owner is in our market, somewhere in that, 3 to 4% over the long term. But when OfferPad came out, and then Open Door and Zillow, everyone was talking about disruptors, these massive disruptors, big time, they're disrupting the market. They're disrupting the market. Well, guess what? Now all they're doing is trying to get listings. It doesn't seem like any kind of massive disruption to me. So, I think it's kind of funny to see that they are now moving into the listing arena kind of thing and trying to get regular listings, especially when the whole thing was how they're going to disrupt the bar. Everything was going virtual, and now all of a sudden they're trying to go after and market listings. So,
well, what would be interesting is to see what kind of technique they're using to basically discount the listing, because right now we all know inventory is really low. So therefore, I'm sure they're using some type of gimmick.
Well, yeah, but their main gimmick is that they are when people make an offer, or when OfferPad makes an offer to buy their home, no one wants to give, or not as many people want to give as much equity away as all that. Well, what their big sell is that they're offering their home preparation services. And by the way, they're offering these services in the 6 to 8% range. So, which is even better for us because, and just like in the past markets, their commission, and now they say they don't have a commission, they have a transaction fee, but let's just talk straight. It's commission. And so, but now their commission has been bouncing between 6 and 8%. Goodness, that's where we are, and we do a much better job than they do. But they are offering their home preparation services, and here's their big thing: is that they're going to upfront the money for any renovations that the seller, and then the seller reimburses them at closing. And so, if you're worried about that, then consider using a service similar to like Curbio. We've had some mixed results with Curbio. I know that they're working heavily trying to perfect their system and that kind of stuff. And so we've had agents that have had wins. We've had agents that were like, it was a big hairy mess. And so, but they are getting better. I do know that. But the great thing about being able to offer Curbio is that now you have the tools to truly compete with an OfferPad or an Open Door if they're trying to go after these listings. Well, with Curbio, they'll do the repairs and then they get paid at closing, the same thing that OfferPad and Open Door is offering. So, we are seeing these guys move back into the market, and they're having to shift and pivot. I think it's very indicative of how great their business model is when suddenly they've decided that, listing homes is a pretty good idea, and they've stopped being a disruptor, all that, kind of along the same line. So I'm not a big fan of them, but, by the same token, we know that they're in our marketplace. So, another thing that we're seeing right now is that online home searches is blowing up. Okay. All these online databases are looking at how many of our clients are out there looking at property online. And this is a really, really big deal. Same thing in Google Trends. We're seeing so many people going out and searching. And here's the big thing is that if you will go out and engage your database, your clients, invite them to your website, guess where they're going to go? To your website. They go to Zillow and they go to Zillow and Trulia and Google because they don't know where else to go. But when they know you and they built a relationship with you and you send them to your website, they use that. The other thing that we got to be looking for is to go and set up some unique searches and share those with your clients. And, like right now, homes with office space, homes with privacy, homes with acreage. We're seeing a real shift in that. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that in a second, but we're seeing a shift away from urban into more suburban and even rural areas right now kind of thing. And so, we know that a lot of our clients are out there engaging on the online home searching, but yet so many of us are not reaching out into our database and saying, come to our website, search on our website, do that, because now they're only seeing us. That's the best thing that we can do out there. So we got to make sure that we're taking advantage of that. Next is we're also seeing that, right now with the job situation, we're seeing that pricing is continuing to get driven, and we are not in we're not in a buyer's market. We're in a seller's market. Pricing continues to move up, and it's largely because we've got way more buyers than we have sellers at the moment. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. So right now there's 4 new trends that we're looking at that's kind of shaping how the U.S. may kind of come out of this whole pandemic issue kind of thing. And so we're seeing a pretty significant, folks leaning towards suburbs or exurbs even kind of thing. So we're seeing that people are wanting to get away from apartment complexes and condos, and they're moving outside the city a lot there. We're also seeing an uptick in second home sales. People who, if you have the means to be able to go have that second home, where if you wanted to get away, you might. Other folks, we're also seeing that people are staying put a little bit longer than they would in the past. And then the last thing, which is really, really great for us, is that more and more people are depending on us. The need for a real estate agent during COVID was huge. I mean, it is massive right now. And so understand that our clients, because of everything going on, we are the experts. We are the go-to. And so we've got to own that right now. We need to be the educators. We need to be the ones that have a level head that can talk our clients through all the issues and be knowledgeable about what's going on in our market kind of thing. We saw the same thing coming up. The Redfin CEO just put he was interviewed kind of thing. And so, right now there was a new poll that came out that said 1/3 of Americans are considering moving to less populated areas kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so like in the really big cities like New York, there's been just this mass exodus out there. And so we really, really, go through your database. Let's reach out to our urban dwellers. If you're in, all of our ITP people inside the perimeter, we definitely need to get out there. Apartments, townhomes, renters, these folks want to move. And so these are great people to reach out, and these are great messages for us to share, whether it's in social media, reaching out to our database, those kind of things. We're also seeing, the rise of kind of the remote workspace out here. And so we're seeing a trend right now in how people are looking for homes and how we market homes. And so, we're seeing that more and more companies are offering work at home. And while that for us is actually really, really good. The more time they spend at home, the more hopefully they realize, I need space that fits how I live now. Space. And so we are seeing people that where spaces differently, spaces used somehow differently. And so, but the other side of that is, how do we market our properties? With seeing these new buyer trends, are we talking about flex space? Are we talking about designated office space, enclosed space, quiet space? Finished basements are a really big deal right now, because now I can leave the kids running around upstairs, and now I can go downstairs and do my work. We're starting to see that stagers are now staging offices kind of thing. And so if you have those kind of spaces in your listings, be promoting those. Like in the past, it wasn't that big a deal. Like we wouldn't stage a room as an office. You should now, because that's a buying point suddenly that wasn't there 2 months ago, and now is a driver kind of thing. We also saw a big uptick in shoppers returning to open air malls. Open air malls saw an increase of traffic by 80%. And we know that that's because people want to have some kind of social distancing kind of thing.
It is also pent up social, shopping, retail therapy.
But, on one hand, we're not seeing the same thing on the inside malls, but the open air malls being up 80% is massive. People are getting back out. We're seeing a lot of positives in the economy kind of right now. So we also last week had a new list price high but inventory shortages are out there. We are tight on inventory. Matter of fact, if you look at the metros with the largest declines in new listings, so in the Atlanta MSA, our new listings are down 22.8%. And our active listing count year over year is down right at 17% kind of thing. And so we don't have enough listings for these buyers.
And if you have client that is on the borderline of wanting to list or not to list, give them these stats and let them know this is the best time. And sometimes I know because your deal has fallen through, I audited back in. So, you know, and the seller get discouraged, just let them know that, you know, just try to tell them these are the data. Right now is the best time to sell. If you miss this season, you may not get this pricing again for a while.
See, you know, right now we are in a very unique period where this is an amazing time to sell and an amazing time to buy. You're never going to have the interest rate. So if you're a buyer, this is the best interest rate. It's the best interest we've ever seen in our lifetime, and we're not going to see these again.
My first one was 11%, y'all. 11%.
We're old. So,
thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. So anyway, moving on. Also, we're seeing home buyers are ready to return to open houses. This is a new survey from NAR came out kind of thing. It said that 65% of people who attended an open house in last year would do so now with no hesitation. So 2/3 of your folks are ready to go back to open houses. And so I think that's a really good indication of what's going on. But also part of that survey came out that 43% of buyers, 53% of sellers said that during this pandemic, relying on a real estate professional when searching for a home was more important than before. Okay, we've got to reach out. They want us to help. So, 51% of buyers said an agent is valuable when it comes to getting information on online listings, much more so. So right now, it's a great time to be a realtor, guys, okay? Because they want us. They really want our information. They want us to help them out. Reach out, engage your folks, because it's a great
right now
time.
is actually time for you to convince your client that we're worthy of their trust, that we're here for the relationship, because our industry always has been perceived as a second to a used car salesperson. So right now, really, that's some time, and I promise you that relationship's going to bring you so much more referral down the road.
Exactly. All right. So now we got some information that's mainly just for our folks kind of thing. So, we open up Real Estate Backstory to everybody, but we got some stuff that is more for our internal people here kind of thing. So we got some new stuff that we want to share with you guys, some new tools coming out. So next week, not this week, we're starting Social Thursdays. And so it's a separate Zoom. This is not a CE class. This is going to be every Thursday, and we're going to be talking about a different social media marketing technique. And so each one's going to be running around 30, 40 minutes kind of thing. It's going to be on Zoom, on a Zoom group. And we'll be going through and sharing different. So one week we'll talk about Facebook. We'll talk about Instagram. We'll talk about doing this on this platform, doing this on this platform. We'll share ideas, tips, and tricks, and then we'll have some open Q&A. And so that's not going to start this Thursday, but it will start next Thursday. We will be adding it to the MX1 training website as well. And then you'll be able to find it on Workplace and the whole 9 yards.
So for those of you who really want to put a little bit of a kicker-upper on your social media, right now it's good for you to learn some of these products that's coming online.
Yeah, we've had a lot of agents reaching out, especially to Caroline. When this whole thing struck, we really tasked Caroline out of our Newton office, and so she's just been getting inundated with agents that really want help and want some assistance on their social media. And we've been trying, and so I know that there were several people looking for assistance from her kind of thing. And so now she's going to be the one leading this up with us kind of thing. But we just, if you were waiting on assistance for her, I've kind of been holding that back because we were trying to build something that we could do weekly and ongoing. To say that we're going to try and tackle social media, it's like saying I'm going to eat an elephant in one bite. There's just way too much to it. It's something you have to build into, and you have to build consistently. And so that's why we're going to start these next week.
And so those of you that have asked her for individual help, please don't think that she is not responding to you. It's under our direction that she was told to put this in a platform to where agents can go back and look at it if they didn't catch it the first time and look at it again. Because we all learn at a different pace. I get that. And there's no way we're almost 300 agents, just our firm. Okay, so there's no way, even she sit down with every one of you, one person per day, there's no way she can cover all of y'all. Yep. So this way that everybody can have the same coverage and go back to see the video at the same time.
Yeah, these will be recorded in workplace under training. All right. Also, this starting tomorrow is our new accountability session.
Yay!
And so, yay, we've been working on this. And so Keisha Kennedy is going to be leading this bad boy up kind of thing. And so, but I want to be very straight up about it. This is accountability. And accountability is one of those things that everyone says they want. But when it really comes down to it, you know, this is where the rubber meets the road. So if you're going to join our accountability group, I'm going to ask you to commit to 90 days. We're going to meet every Tuesday at 10 o'clock in the morning. It is going to be a Zoom meeting. We are going to be posting all of our results are going to be posted on our workplace accountability page. So in workplace, there's a new accountability group, and we have our own separate Google Drive set up in there. At each one of these accountability meetings, we're going to have a short education session, 10 minutes roughly, where we talk about a new topic kind of thing. And then each member is responsible to participate. If you're going to be a wallflower, you're not going to be in this group, because everyone each week is going to share their goal versus their results on their main key performance indicators. They're going to establish their upcoming week's goal. Mm-hmm. Then they're going to talk about what was their biggest win from last week and their biggest challenge from last week. This is not going to be a one agent counseling session. This is not going to be a coaching thing. This is for accountability. And so this is one of those things everyone says that they want it. And then when you start putting it in, so I want you to do this. This is really, really good for your business when you have to answer to other agents and to us. And so Ming's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Keisha's going to be there. We're going to be helping to kind of roll this out as well. Yeah, Keisha's leading this thing, but we're all going to be there, and we're there to help hold each other accountable for doing what we say we're going to do. That's one of the things, like when you first get into this business, you realize that there's no, you choose to sit in your pajamas all day, ain't nobody saying nothing to you. I mean, if you came out of corporate America, well, you didn't show up to work, your boss is going to be like, hey buddy, you need to get your act together. But when you're an independent contractor, when you are your own business, you are employee number 001. Sometimes we need that boost. We need that person that's going to help to hold us accountable. And so that's what this group is for. So I hope that you'll join us. We want to make this very real and important, because we feel that this can truly help you build your business. For us, we've always had each other to hold accountable, which has helped, but it's also a challenge having your wife hold you accountable. So we have other people that we use for accountability as well. So I hope that you will take us up on this, because this is one of those things that everybody says that they wanted. And so we've been working really hard to get a really solid program together. And so I hope that you'll join us.
Absolutely. And just one last word on accountability. Don't be shy sharing your thoughts and ideas, because I can promise you your sphere of influence and mine are different circles. And there's plenty of business go around, because this is not what this group is about. This group is about sharing ideas and also the wins, the tech challenges, so we can help each other out.
Yep. And now we've added a new service for you guys, and it's called Utility Connect. And so if you go to utilityconnect.net/maximum1, you're going to see what looks like a picture like this right here. And so what these folks are is these are basically moving concierge. They will help you, or they'll help your clients set up utilities, phone, electric, gas, TV, movers, internet, insurance, moving supplies, the whole 9 yards. We are going to have, so we already have our utilityconnect.net/maximum1. We have a dedicated phone number, 678-369-0053. That is our dedicated moving concierge for any of your clients. We have, in the next week or two, we are going to be rolling out individual agent portals. So you'll have your own agent portal to be able to put your clients in if you choose to. There is no cost for you and no cost for your clients. This is 100% free. If you don't want to use it, you don't have to. But this is one of those things that being able to, you know, like if you have your client call that number, they'll do it over the phone. They'll help. You know, the only issue, or not issue, the only challenge is, like, especially like water. Water is the one utility that they can't normally get turned on. With water, you have to, you know, a lot of times they're going to have to go down to actually do it. But even then, they're going to say, here's the address, here's their phone number, this is what you'll need to bring to go turn your water on. But they can go in, log in, put all their information in, and these folks will go out and turn all their utilities on, set up all that kind of stuff, and basically get them set up. In addition,
and makes you look really good.
It's a really nice service, and we're really, really proud that we can add this in. In addition, this, you know, also, if you'll go on the bottom of that of utilityconnect.net/maximum1, there's a mail forwarding section on there. Now, if you go to the USPS, United States Postal Service, and use their mail forwarding, they will charge you. It's handled through a third party. But if you go through the mail forwarding on ours, there's no cost to your clients, nothing in there. They can go in there, sit in your old address, your new address, and it automatically sets up your mail forwarding, and there is no charge for this. So they get paid by if your client uses any of these services that will pay a referral fee, they'll take that. But if those referral services don't pay them, then they just don't get paid on that. And so it's a volume thing for them. And so, again, there's no cost for you. There's no cost for your clients. And hopefully in the next week, I'll be able to give everyone their own utilityconnect.net web portal to where you can go in, put any of your clients' information in. We're even trying to tie it in where we can make it part of paperless pipeline to send you a reminder, that kind of stuff. But it's just, this is, we want to continue to bring you value and new tools that can help you market yourself and to grow your business kind of thing.
Not only that, makes you look like an awesome agent, which you guys are.
So I've got a few questions in chat because we're just about to, we're pretty much wrapping this up here kind of thing, but I did want to answer some kind of thing because I've got a few questions that have come in. So I just want to answer those real fast while we're online kind of thing. The fees for the home buyer's warranty kind of thing has been, it's $425 for his anyway. And again, they're all different, and we're not, you're not stuck with just John. I'm sorry, I know John's on here still. We really appreciate John. And we like and trust John, of course, but you can connect with all these guys. I think for John's, his basic is $425, and then if you upgrade with the buyers, for the seller's plan, it's an additional $75. It's paid at closing, but now you get to market that, and it protects your sellers during that time.
Not only that, you will get a $75 rebate once the property closed and the home warranty is paid. They usually issue their check once a month.
Yep. All right, let's see.
And for some of y'all, I already know that you already using it because I have issued rebate check back to you. Okay, we can't call it rebate. It's service call check back to you.
All right, and then let's see. We have a couple of comments talking about lead-based paint. We're going to go into more detail on the actual forms next week. So we're going to fire up the lead-based paint. We'll pull out ABC, the whole 9 yards, and go through all those information. So look for that next week on Backstory. We're going to spend a little bit more time on the actual forms next week. The big thing we wanted to come across on lead-based paint was that has to be what's going on with the federal law. Mm-hmm. One other thing that we really didn't touch on is the difference between Georgia is like you can sell as is, no disclosure, but it opens you up to a lot of liability.
Right.
At the same time, we got this federal law that says you must disclose. So you have sellers who are like, well, I'm not disclosing anything. Well, guess what? There's an $11,000 to $16,000 fine involved, and it's not an option. It's not an option not to disclose what you know about lead-based paint.
Or if you don't know. I mean, a lot of sellers don't know whether or not there's lead-based in their house because when they bought it, nothing was disclosed.
Well, but it's also confusing because on one hand, it's like, okay, you don't have to disclose, even though they really should, and they open themselves up to a ton more liability. But now the federal law does not do that. And the federal law supersedes here. And so while they don't have to do a full disclosure, even though they really should, on the other hand, they have to do this is a federal law, and they have to do that. And so I know that there's going to be a rub there with some clients who want to do it and don't want to do that kind of thing. So educate yourself on that.
So most of your big players, like I offer paint stuff like that, they will have their form on lead-based paint as well. So just make sure it is done if the house is built prior to 1978. And also, you guys can ask a question in workplace as well. I see some questionnaires that's gone through.
I had one other question that says, what happens if the home doesn't sell and the seller uses Curbio? They hold that money up to a year, and
Right.
at that point they will issue they'll set up a payment term, or they'll put a lien against the property for it. But you can go a whole year with Curbio on that one.
And just really quick, make sure your seller is educated on Curbio and also understands the term and condition, just like taking a loan out. They understand the terms and the condition of that particular loan.
So we ran kind of long today. We really appreciate you. We, if we can do anything for you, please reach out to us, call, text, smoke signals. We're glad to take care of you in any way, shape, or form that we can. So we love and appreciate you. Thank you very much. And if we can be of service, please let us know.
Happy Monday.
Bye, y'all.